Yes, yes. It's boxing basement, the Triple B right here. We're talking about the Josh Taylor, the Jack Catterall fight. Uh, it wasn't a bad fight. It wasn't a bad fight. I said to you, Taylor looks in shape. At least his body does. Facially, he looked like a 40-year-old Glaswegian alcoholic. His face was swollen. He looked half bruised. You know, in fact, it probably looks like a 25-year-old Scottish alcoholic. But, I told you his body looked in good shape. And Taylor's one thing is tough and determined. And I'm glad to see Catterall came with no tattoos. It's good to see people without tattoos who don't, copy what they're told to by the elitists and poison their body with ink. Because this poisons the lymph nodes and the blood supply. Taylor's got one tattoo. It's a bit cringe. It's some Chinese thing. Oh, I'm so deep. I've got a Chinese tattoo. It means respect or some BS like that. Like some 18-year-old middle class girl that's gone on holiday to China and thinks that she's really deep and found herself. So has a Chinese tattoo or a Sri Lankan tattoo or whatever, man. Some Urdu tattoo. It's BS, man. But Catterall looked good from the beginning. He looked good. He was landing great shots. He's a lovely boxer. He's extremely careful. He can be frustrating. He makes guys miss and then he doesn't throw any counters. He's very patient, too patient. And he has power, though it's not reflected in his knockout ratio, right? And the zone commentary, which some people said, oh, it was biased towards Catterall. I thought it was biased towards Josh Taylor. I remember I watched Josh Taylor. I can't remember what round, but he missed 15 punches in a row. And the DAZN commentary was great pressure by Taylor. It's probably that bum. It was either Andy Lee or that bum, Darren Barker, Beavis and Butthead Barker. Catterall could have made it more conclusive, But he was piecing up Taylor up until round 6, battering him. But Catterall started to tire around 7 and 8. Around 9, Taylor's doing the right thing. No, this is what they said, right? The commentary goes, Taylor got hit by 5 flush jabs in a row by Catterall. And DAZN commentary goes, oh, that's better. Josh Taylor needs to do more of this. I mean, it's insane. But Taylor was picking up a few rounds. In the 10th, certainly he was coming on. And I know it. Catterall seems to be running out of petrol. Catterall's run out of petrol. Okay. But he does hurt Taylor. And I think the 9th, the 11th, Taylor was hurt bad. But Catterall does not jump on him. And round 11, Andy Lee had Taylor ahead. I like Andy Lee. He's a good world champion, very tough. But he's clearly biased here, man. Clearly biased here. But I had no problem at all. In fact, it was the right decision. And the first fight, the decision should have gone to Catterall. Unfortunately, he doesn't win, right? The undisputed championship now, which he would have done the first time. So, it's a bit of a Pyrrhic victory because he's beaten a guy who lost his last fight. He's passed it. Instead of beating a guy who had all the championships and he should have been champion. Jack Catterall, I've underestimated him. He's a lovely boxer. His timing is good. He has some power. But he's like, Jack, do enough to win the round, Catterall. You know what I'm saying? He just does enough to win the round. He's too patient. He doesn't take enough risks. When you got a guy hurt, you jump on him. And then there wouldn't be any of this. There's a few guys I think Taylor won. I think it. Now, right, you know what boxing's about? Every round is scored as a separate round. So if you win a round heavily and clearly, it's a 9-10 round. If you edge around, it's still a 9-10 round. So you could say, Taylor won X, Y, and Z rounds. even though they were close. He won the rounds. If you wanted to choose all close rounds going to Taylor, you might say he won, but to end truthfully, there's no one seriously could come out of that fight and think Taylor deserved it. He deserves respect. He's extremely tough, Taylor. Yeah? He's a bit angry, he's bitter, he's Scottish, but he's very tough. He's very tough. But, at worst, I'd have 115, 113 Catterall, or around that. And the funniest thing was Bob Arum. Bob Arum. What is he, 92? He got a meltdown, man. At the end of the fight, it was like seeing Gay J meltdown. He went nuts. He said, I would never let an American fighter fight in the UK. I would never let anyone fight under the British board. So he's having to go to the British Board of Control. I don't know if he's high on edibles, because he likes his greens, Bob, or so he claims. But, it was pathetic. But it was also quite amusing. It was amusing to see Bob Arum melt down. But, and even Eddie Earn's sitting there with, going, what's going on? With a smile on his face. But Catterall had to be the winner. And he should have won the first one. What happens next? That could be a rematch. I'm so sick of rematches. I'm so sick of it. If I was Catterall, I'd be like, no, I'm moving on, man. I want to win the world title. I should have been world champion. Think what a difference that would make to Jack Catterall's money, his standing in boxing if he'd won the first fight, which he should have done. And Ian John Lewis robbed him, that bum, who then ended up saying, I didn't even know who Jack Catterall was. That was his defense. I didn't know who this guy was. What? So you marked him down? You're a mug. You're a pussyhole. A lot of these British refs, right? A lot of them are ex-boxers, but they're all area level boxers. You notice that, right? Ian John Lewis, Bob B.F. Williams, and a bunch of other bums like Roy Connor and blah, blah, whatever. I don't care for their names. But Mickey Vann, another pro, ex-pro, and they're jealous of the fighters that are at a high level, that are world-class. They're jealous, and they want to be in the limelight because they couldn't make it. They couldn't make it when they were a pro because they got beaten up at area level. And a few of them were in good fights, and well done. I think you should have more respect for the fighting man. But they are bitter. They are bitter. They are egotistical. They can't. Well, I was going to say they can't be objective, but it's not just about their personal hatred for successful fighters. It's about the promoters and everything. But honestly, I think Taylor should probably consider retirement if he's happy. Or he should definitely go for a Catterall rematch, which he shouldn't get. He's lost 2 now. And don't get me wrong, he battled all the way, but he still lost 2. In my opinion, clearly 2 fights. And it's time for him to be taken out in the field and shot in the head. Like an old horse. If you're from the country, when a horse gets old, you take it to the field and you shoot it in the head. That's what should happen to Josh Taylor and Derek Chisora, especially Derek Chisora. If he has been held under country farming rules, Chisora had been shot in the head about 10 years ago. But, good on Josh. And he's respectful. He can retire and say he's one of the best, if not the best, he can claim, Scottish fighter ever, which doesn't mean anything, because Scottish fighters are generally bums. They seem to lack the culture, the DNA, they all look weak. But, they're very bitter. They think the world's against them. It's just a nonsense. The world's against all of us, blood. Believe that. But, it was a good fight. I enjoyed it. I don't want to see it again. Will Catterall win a world championship? Well, it depends who fights. At 140, it's quite tough, but, you can usually find a way in. But, I'll just say at least it was a good fight, There's a bit of back and forth, but to me there was one clear winner, and that was Jack El Gato Catterall.